All right, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to Cisco Meraki. Hopefully you made it to the right place and that's what you're here for. So for the next 20 minutes, we're going to go on 3 different journeys, hopefully. But we'll see. Spice World is a very diverse crowd. We have people from small, medium business. We have people that are MSPs. We have developers. So we're going to try to take one journey for each one of you in the next 20 minutes. So at the end, we'll have questions and we'll do some demo. We live and die by demos. So my name's Jeff Handel. I'm going to be your conductor for the next 20 minutes. Like I said, I'm going to skip a lot of slides. I don't do a lot of slides. I prefer to do demo, bring it back to life, and probably let you guys ask a few questions throughout the journey. So first of all, who's heard of Cisco Meraki before? Quick show of hands. Actually, most of you. Bummer. We're getting to be known. But anyway, that's a good thing, actually, because in 2012, when Cisco acquired Meraki, I was always a customer, and I'm like, why the hell did we acquire another access point, right? That's what everybody thought. But like many of you, I missed the boat. I missed why did Cisco acquire Meraki? It was not because of the AP, it was because of the platform. And throughout this journey, keep that in mind. It's a platform. It's a platform which you can develop, work, build, and play, do whatever you want. It started off as an access point, and it's become physical security cameras, firewalls, switches, access points. And there's more coming. We're not nearly done. We're just getting started. So keep that in mind. It's a platform. Keep that in mind throughout the journey. So I always like to bring up our mission statement because, especially at Spice World, I actually got involved with Spice World about 3 years ago for the first time when I got nominated and I got an award for the Soul of IT Awards. Hopefully you guys have heard of it. Before then, I had no idea what Spice World was. And when I got engaged with the group 3 years ago, I got to see that this is a very group of people that are very passionate about what they do, the lives they try to make change. I mean, and that's where it's at. Here in the U.S., the small and medium businesses are still alive and well, and all thanks to a lot of you guys. So this mission statement, the key word I want to point out to is you guys are a very passionate group of people, and so are we. We want to make you live your passion every day, not to be spending your time troubleshooting, trying to make it all work. We just want to make you do what you need to do to keep your businesses and your workplaces alive. So let's keep going through here. So as I mentioned, it is a platform. It is a platform that is full of automation and scale. And my clicker is kind of like messing with me right now, so bear with me here. And as you can see, in this last 7 years since Cisco acquired it, the platform has actually grown tremendously. Now, because there are developers in the crowd, pay attention to the 41 million API requests. And by the way, APIs are kind of a new thing. We started about 9-10 months ago, and the usage and adoption of APIs has been tremendous, which means now you can create your own services on top of a Meraki platform. You don't even have to log into dashboard. So that's a little bit of food for thought for the developers in the crowd. Next, it is the simplest platform to use. Now, this is not lip service. We actually keep the Meraki platform simple. That UI that we all love takes a lot of sweat and tears to get to the point where a checkbox does a whole lot of automation behind the scenes. But to us, it just looks like a checkbox. So we live it, we market it, but we do it every day, keeping it simple. It's not that easy. It's a very hard thing to do, but that's what the platform is known, whether you're running switching, whether you're running access points. Simplicity is at the heart of everything that gets done. So if you're an MSP in the crowd, if you can do in 1 hour serve 3 or 4 clients, that's more money in your pocket, right? If it were to take me to one customer, 1 hour, I'm not making as much revenue. And that's where the platform really shines and scales, because it's more automation. It's keeping it simple, doing more with less. So keep that in mind as well. And that's because it is a platform as well. The other thing about the platform, again, keeping in mind the concept of security. Security is top of mind almost every day. Who in here considers themselves a security person in their organization? See, not as many hands went up, and that worries me because we are all security people. We should all be concerned about security in one shape, form, or fashion, because it's not if you're going to get hacked, it's when. It's just a matter of time, and all you need to do is know how to deal with it quickly and detect it quickly. Those are the 2 key things that you need to be able to do, and that's what again, the platform really shines in letting you know when that happens and you want to do it quickly, because it will happen. About 20 minutes ago, we had another presentation of Cisco Umbrella, and the platform really integrates with Umbrella. There's a lot of components, and actually I have one of the boxes right here. There's a lot of power that goes into here in terms of security. We have AMP, which is the Advanced Malware Protection Engine. We have the content filtering. We have the Umbrella integration. There's a lot of things that happen in this small box. Remember the days 10 years ago when the boxes used to be huge to be able to have every single signature of things? Well, that's not the case anymore. We leverage the power of the cloud to make it very, very efficient, and there's a lot more efficient compute power nowadays. I mean, your cell phones are a good example of it. So we can do more with less, and detecting it as fast as we can. And again, because it is a platform, we can report it all in one place. I'm going to do a little demo of this. And there's a little thing we call the Security Center. And again, I'm going to bring it to life with a real live network, because that's where it really shines, and not to look at it in a PowerPoint. The other thing is, because it is cloud managed, and this is cloud managed from the ground up, all that infrastructure is maintained securely. So the communication happens at a very lightweight 1 kilobit per second, and that's highly encrypted, highly optimized. There's a patent out there. If you want to go read it, copy it, sure, you can go ahead, but it's a patent. It's very, very optimized. So for 1 kilobit a second, even through satellite uplink, the trade-off of how much visibility you get, how much power you get, how much automation you get is insane. I'll give you guys a little demo towards the end. But it is secure. So if you're in the hospital business, SIPA for K through 12, or taking credit card in retail, PCI compliance, that's not a problem for you, because we don't send any data payload to the cloud. The only thing that goes up there is metadata, which what all these compliances, HIPAA, PCI care about is the actual data payload. That never goes to the cloud. Everything's locally switched. So make sure you understand that. That's a big, big distinguishing factor, because it would be very inefficient to send everything up there. Next, again, because we have a lot of MSPs in the crowd, it's all about business growth. How do you improve your business? So the network has actually moved on from just being a simple, hey, I just want to get on Wi-Fi and get to the internet. It's more about how can I enable the business. So all of you guys that wear the IT hat have a really important role in to improve your business. You could be the lifeline that improves and makes your business grow, or you can actually be the one that kind of kills it. So you guys need a seat at the table. You need to realize that it's not about speeds and feeds anymore. It's about how can the network improve my business, keep it secure, things like that. Next, as part of the journey, again, the third topic is, again, still on MSPs. If you here are providing services, there is zero, and I repeat, zero amount of infrastructure that you have to spend to get started providing services with the Cisco Meraki platform. It is cloud-based. You can put your own branding on it. You put your own telephone number for them to call you for support. And again, zero upfront cost. Your customers just buy the gear, you start managing it for them. And you can automate it with APIs like I mentioned earlier, but it's zero upfront cost. I mean, we should all be doing this by now, because there is little spend. You just have to spend a few hours learning a few webinars, looking through documentation, and you're off to the races. But it is very little spend to be able to get in and start offering services. So again, food for thought. There's yesterday I actually spoke to a lot of MSPs, people providing services, so it's really easy to get into. So don't be scared. It's really easy with the platform. And this is my best part, my favorite part. When you order Meraki gear, even the ordering is simple. One hardware part number, one license, one for one on nearly 90% of the portfolio. So the chances of screwing up or getting it wrong are very close to zero. People still screw up, don't get me wrong, but the ordering, you don't need a 50-page part list to order one switch like we've gotten used to from everyone, including we went through some learning pains. So even the ordering gets really, really, really simple. So less chance of a screw up. Simplicity from the ground up. So here's my favorite part. We're going to get to see some of this stuff in action. So it's a non-scripted demo, so feel free to jump or ask any questions as we move along. And that's where I want to spend the bulk of the time, is doing a little demo. So this is our plans for world domination. So if you guys remember Pinky and the Brain, this is what we're doing. We're taking over the world. And a lot of these dots are different networks that are in the middle of nowhere. These are probably shipping rigs, oil exploration, things like that. Like I said, it works beautifully even through the satellite uplinks. It doesn't matter if it's high latency, it all still works because it's a very efficient 1 kilobit per second. And anybody want to throw out there any vertical that they were operating in? Education. So pick education. You see how the dots just change throughout different parts of the world, and there's different schools and universities that show up. If you're in healthcare, again, different very well-known brands that you see out there, and it changes and adapts to it. So pretty cool to see this platform grow. When I started, this had 300,000 networks. Now we're over 2.2 billion. Again, that's part of how it scales. And by the way, a network is just a container. It can have one device, but it can have 10,000 devices, so it doesn't matter. It's a really powerful scaling platform. So dive in deeper into the platform. One of the things that one must do to be able to get these metadata to work, all you have to do is plug it in and connect it to the internet. Simple as that. And when it does that, it starts collecting all this metadata. Who's going to what are people doing? As long as 1 kilobit of traffic actually goes through a Cisco Meraki part, whether it's a switch, hardware, access point, it will get some footprint about that device. So for example, you want to know who's doing Office 365. Who's my top user of Office 365? All I did was take 1-2 clicks, and I got that information. I want to know what else this person is doing. So he's actually connecting through VPN, and he's doing a lot more other things. But it seems like he spends a lot of time in Office 365. So I'm able to gather a lot of insights with just 2 or 3 clicks. Now, the reason this is blurred is because I'm not an admin for their privacy, because these are real people that we work with. So we don't want to show embarrassing stuff. They might be on Tinder, who knows? But that's their business. So lots of granularity. So we want to know how they're connecting, what IP address, all that usual stuff is just there, just in a GUI format. Now, because we are talking about security, my colleagues in London, I always pick on them because they're always doing stupid stuff. I mean, this is real production stuff. We actually can go to the security center and actually see what they've been doing. So I can have my executive view and see where are they downloading bad stuff from, who, what, when. All that good stuff is in there. But where I like to spend my time is in the nerd knobs. I want to go see who did it, what is it good, bad? Maybe I want to do some forensic analysis. I can actually download the actual PCAP that got blocked to see, okay, what is it? What did it do? Oh, they downloaded a gzip file. Let me go analyze it, put it on one of my test lab networks and see what else it does. Things like that. And again, very little effort. All I did was turn it on. That's all I had to do. And like I said, configuration, imagine you had to do 3 sites in one day and you need to turn on all this security. Well, you start off with being in the disabled mode, just turn it on, and it's off to the races. Again, automation. Automation and simplicity just means there's less chance of us doing a mistake. Because mistakes do happen. I mean, we're multitasking, we're doing so many things, life gets in the way. All this automation that this platform does is allows us to do less mistakes. It doesn't eliminate them. The marketing people will tell you it eliminates them. But I'm an engineer in the real world. It reduces the amount of mistakes that you will be doing. And all you have to do is turn it on. Simple as that. And then just watch it work after that. From a troubleshooting standpoint, I can do, actually, I'll wait on that in a second. I'll show you one really cool thing. I used to spend hours tracking down clients. So I'm going to pick on Daniela. She's currently connected on the network. I want to know how she connects to the network. So I used to spend hours trying to figure out which way, which access point, which switch she's connecting through. All I have to do is one click. And I'm still using the same concept, which is her MAC address, and then just tracing it through the network. But I'm doing it with one click, which if we see this is highlighted a little bit darker than the rest. So she's actually on this access point that goes through this switch stack, out through this core device, out to the world. So one click is all it took me. So imagine how many hours you would save, whether you're an MSP or you're doing this for yourself. It's all about time. If I can save time, that means I can do more, or actually do what I'm supposed to be doing. Because many of us don't get hired on to do troubleshooting. We get hired on to bring the business forward, provide connectivity that is easy, reliable. But if I'm spending the time troubleshooting, which is what happens to 90% of us, I want to do it the easy way. and spend less time doing it. So this is one example. So if I know the MAC address ahead of time, and I can actually put it in. If not, by the way, speaking of time saving, look at this. I got a topology map. I don't have to go spend time trying to figure out where things are connected to. Still uses CDP, LDP information, traditional stuff that you're used to. It's just done automatically. So if you change how interconnects are doing it, this will change dynamically. Awesome. Another quick thing I want to show you guys is my favorite, switches. I love the switches because I can actually see what's going on all at once. And because it is a platform, I like to see every single product as a sensor that gives me a lot of information. So really quickly, I can tell there's a lot of PoE connected on here, and they're all connected at 100 meg because of the color. If it was a brighter green, it'd be a gig. So these are things, insights I can really gather really quickly. If I want to know more information about that port, I can see how much traffic they've done over the last day, what kind of device. It's actually a short tail phone. Oops, we're Cisco, but we're probably doing testing there. Who knows? Probably a lot of you guys have short tail. All this just works. This is all standards based. I could do a cable test, but I know this will disconnect this phone because it's 100 meg, because the warning kind of tells me, but should we go for it? What do you guys think? Somebody nodded, I'll blame him. So it's shorted out because I actually forced that phone to reboot, so I should have read the warning. But if it's a gig port, or if I'm okay with it, I'm actually checking the ports. I'm actually checking the length of that cable and things like that. But we probably disconnected that person's phone, so I saw that guy nod over there, so we're going to blame it on him. Another cool thing is I don't have to go to a site to do a packet capture. I can do it from anywhere. I can be in South Padre Islands, which I think there's a guy I met yesterday, be at the beach, but I have my network in Houston. I can actually do a packet capture from anywhere in the world as long as I have an internet connection. I could do it down here, which I'm not a big fan of because this is just for quick troubleshooting. I prefer the color coding that Wireshark does for me. And this will start downloading a packet capture that I can put in Wireshark. I'm actually going to do it for 5 seconds. And again, this is just going to start downloading. And by the way, this is in London. We are in Austin right now. This is not London, Texas. This is London, the other side of the world. I think there's a London, Texas. I don't know. Might be. So I download that PCAP. I only did it for 5 seconds. Now I can actually troubleshoot, again, really, really easily. And it just looks like any other packet capture. No voodoo here. Just like that. And that works on any part of the platform. And then the other thing I really wanted to show you guys, because there are MSPs and because I've talked to developers for the last couple of days here, is APIs. I can actually not even log into the dashboard and build my own API. So if you've heard of things like Grafana, which does really cool graphing, I can actually take every single traffic flow that we saw on the dashboard and export it and use it myself to build anything I want. So this gives me visibility on every single flow, how much of it, things like that, to build my own tools if I wanted to, offer my own service, or only cater to the data that I care about for my business. That's the power of APIs. And by the way, you can configure the entire dashboard, about 80% of it, we're getting there, with APIs. You don't even have to log in. Again, APIs are one of those things that we are doing. And because we've heard the community loud and clear, we want to be able to do APIs to monitor as well. So that's one thing that you can actually do. Send a single API call, whether you have 1 or 10,000 devices, and you get the entire up-down status of whatever device it is. And this is one example I did earlier, and I can see switches are up. I can actually see a teleworker gateway. It's offline. And again, I can graph it, consume the data in whichever way I want. So, because it is a platform. And there's a lot of tools already out there. We have a great developer community. So if there's one thing you walk away from, is that the platform is meant for all people from different walks of life. And there's a lot of code that people have written already. So we have about a minute left. So I want to open it up to the floor for anybody that has a question or any demo that you guys would like to see. Anybody? Yes, sir. So the question was, does this demo I showed you come with any Meraki device? The answer is yes, and you don't pay for it. It's already part of the license. So like I said, one part number for hardware, one part number for license. The license is all inclusive, includes your support, firmware, the whole shebang. Now you want to go build your own, you can with all the APIs, but this is all out of the box. All you have to do is plug it in, give it a, you let it connect to the internet, whether it's TCP, static, whatever you prefer, and you are off to the races. Any other question? 30 seconds left. Yes, sir. Speak higher, please. The mobile app, I will be the first in it because I'm on camera. It is not great. I would use a different word. But there is a cool thing happening. So we launched a new SMB line called Meraki Go that created a app-only experience. So a lot of the guts of it will be used for the enterprise app. So just hold on a couple more months or probably sooner. It'll be like night and day. So I hear you. I feel the pain. I don't like it. Awesome. So with that, we've hit the time limit. So thanks again. If you have any other questions, more in-depth demos, visit us on booth 39. Please only bring hard questions, no easy questions. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.